to get into this one here. And what level is this game at? You said this was a 6 stack. Is this gold? Is this flats? Is this bronze?
I'd say mid to high gold. Yeah, we had a plat healer. I'm 2300, and then a couple of golds.
Got it. Got it. Fair enough. We're set up here. We're probably peeking a little early.
Let's show them what we can do. Nothing's gonna stop.
Okay, and we're gonna go for our opening fire strike from this angle. No problem.
Yeah. I usually don't try any funny business on Hanimura. Usually some Reinhardts get cheeky on that room across the choke.
Yep, some of them do. That's fine. This is a perfectly reasonable open. I don't have an issue with it. But you're kind of early. You're kind of early and you're kind of moving a lot. And that's extra chances for them to see you. And also, then we go for this timing. And this timing is okay. Like, I'm okay with the timing, but you sort of peaked early and you were just sort of waiting for a second. So that is something that we want to continue to hone in on. Like, the distance and the travel time on your fire strike is the same every single time you start this map, right? Like, that's not a moving target that you have to aim at. So let's keep trying to practice that and try to sort of get closer and closer on when we do our peak, because you just let them see you at 4. And then you moved again, and you moving is actually more obvious than you just standing still.
Yeah, lining it up. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Right. But hey, you got a couple people out of it. Don't need to. Yep. So here we are. This is fine. I don't love this shielding right here because I know my Zarya's in front of me and she's probably going to personal bubble for spam. I just know that. That's what Zaryas do. She's directly between me and the opponent. I want to close this angle, which is what you are doing, sort of. You want to get yourself over here, right? That's what we generally be doing. But you're sort of giving them shield to shoot at. And then you decide, no, Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I see the sim. That's why I tried running out, I guess, to stop the...
Okay.
But I get the LOS part though. That totally makes sense. Don't let them run my shield down while my Zarya's in front of me.
Right. So you've got to immediately make a decision of, am I pressing up to try to cleave them a ton before they go through that teleporter and hope my team can finish them off, or am I turning around right now? And the answer is I'm going to try to run up. Probably a little late. I'm definitely not hitting this fire strike though. Like, I'm definitely not hitting this fire strike. I'm just going to swing my hammer. Oh no. And that's already, like, too much. Like, okay, now we need to do what we can here because there's a McCree in our face. There's a Diva in our face. This is a lot. Fortunately, they do take it. Okay, fortunately, they are 100% in on their play. So now you have a decision to make. Sure. And you're good, and now you're just going to stabilize. And you just need to stabilize this a bit as your team sort of surrounds it. It's okay for them to get ticks here. It's not okay for you to get eliminated. It's not okay for you to fire strike in their face at half health. Again, you might be thinking, hey, I have a corner. It's okay for this fire strike. But first off, this is a Diva. We're not going to fire strike in the direction of a Diva.
Yeah,
what are we doing there?
Eat it.
Right.
Yeah.
Second of all, I don't want to, like, I actually am perfectly happy to spend shield to delay point a little bit here, but the more time that I can buy, the more time my teammates can do things like surround this point and turn this into a bit of a kill box where Junkrat's going to be able to bounce nades around in here. Maybe Sombra's going to be able to take time and get over here and do work. You sort of see what I'm saying here? We're like, right now, this is actually if you can slow this fight down, you should win. You have a little bit to worry about in terms of they have sim turrets that they want, things like that. But if you can slow this down without letting sim charge off of you, and sim's not charging off of you, if sim's charging off of you, you have to hard brawl. But if sim's not charging off of you, or you have to back out completely, but if she's not charging off of you, you're perfectly fine slowing this fight down a little.
Okay, I don't think about that. Usually I'm always trying to do something as Ryan instead of slowing it down. Especially with like a Junkrat spamming damage, like be able to get the picks.
Absolutely. Like, this can be a thing where we go, hey, what do we do? And anytime a sim gets onto point like this, you've got to think, I've either got to really let this go slow and get my team get a poke lead without letting the sim charge, or I need to go in hard and fast so that I get, because Sim has to ramp up her effectiveness a little bit, and I just need to go full stop. It's either go full or it's let my team get a lead and then go in. There is no, like, half-insy. You sort of see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So would I have been better off to just charge in if I was going to go full in? Like, instead of trying to walk to the point, just get there as fast as possible?
I don't know that I'd have charged because you'd have 100% been countercharged, and then the Sim has an easy target to ramp up off of and you can't do anything, right?
That's what I'm afraid of.
So I'm okay with you walking over like you did with your shield up, etc. But then if you want to go in and just hard swing, note I say swing because that doesn't get DM'd, you can do that. And you can go, hey, I'm going to do that. That's probably what I'd encourage if their sim was right here, and I'd be trying to get her in the swings too. But actually, it would be I'm not going to do anything until I think the sim is in range. Because again, right now, I'm perfectly happy to let this fight happen. My Junkrat might lose, but like my Junkrat has an angle. This is more time for my Symmetra to do work, to get set up. We're going to end up in a situation where we're threatening them from here, and hopefully from like here.
You got the angles.
Right.
Yeah.
And we just win that fight slowly. Now, we don't have very long to spend because the point is 40% capped, but that's a thing that we can consider.
Yeah. So I'm perfectly fine just chilling in that corner while my team is able to get around them and whittle them down. Like I was thinking of maybe rotating like to the right, but because of the turrets, but I'm perfectly fine.
You don't have to. Then. You can put your shield up. It's not like you'll be able to stay here forever, but if Sim isn't on you, you can just put your shield up and be like, yeah, Anna, heal me through it. Like, it's the only one who's going to hurt you is the Reinhardt. Now, if the Sim gets on you, that changes everything, and you have to hard fight, and the fight has started. But if she's not on you, okay, cool. I'll let Junkrat do some more.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Still winnable. You're behind, but still winnable. Now you need to push, though. You see what's happening where you have 3 people going to address your Junkrat there? Well, even before that, you could see there's 3 people going, so you have to push in. Because you have to... If they're willing to spend that many resources, like they are now, you see, hey... There's too many people going this way to deal with my Junkrat. Now I have to push in hard, and my Zarya is also pushing in. So now, you don't want to rob your Zarya of charge, but we have to push in hard right now, even though we don't have as much health as we'd like, because they're adjusting too much pressure to relieve this. And when you're setting up this surround like this, if they don't respect you enough, well, you need to push in to make them respect you more. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So if we're pushing, like, should I just push in hard right and go up and hit the Rein and go in that way? Okay.
Yeah. You're going to fire strike that? No. Okay. This is over. Just touch point. No!
Yeah, I wasted my shot. I know.
Yeah, you couldn't win that fight. That was too far gone, but okay.
Objective lost. New defense point. Objective B.
What? Yeah.
What are you doing?
You
know this? Like, yes, I see LD, but wait a second. Wait a second. Okay, so...
It's like Rabbit. I'm trying to break it, too.
Truth be told, I get it. I do.
New defense point.
Sorry, I don't mean to talk over you. It's a tiny bit of delay.
No, you're good. You're good.
So
I do have a question about the window.
Yes, go ahead.
Like, so is it best utilized usually to engage as like a momentum ult?
No, not strictly speaking. Windows can be used in a variety of ways. When it comes to your windows, there's going to be windows that are sort of... How do I want to put this? There's going to be windows that let your team take space. The window goes up. It's just before the fight is starting. So the opponents retreat behind cover. So your team gets to finish their rotation, which is sort of what's happening here, right? Like they're sort of windowing a little bit early to try to put threat out there, to try to make you guys either run through the window at them or back off behind cover so that they get in more cleanly. That's one thing that'll happen with windows. Another thing that'll happen with Windows is the Reinhardt's already in and doing work, and now the BAP is windowing, maybe for himself, maybe for someone else, and his whole team gets to shoot through the window, but his Reinhardt either is through the window or fire strikes and then immediately walks through the window and brawls, and now he's got double heals on his Reinhardt, as well as damage boost for his backline, etc. That's a perfectly legit window, but that takes place later in a team fight. And then a third type of window would be a meh, no one's going to use this but me, but I'm dropping this window here, and I'm just going to go snipe you guys out type thing. And that's a perfectly legit window, too. So, like, I'm not going to say that this is the right type of window or use your window going into an engage, because you can be like, hey, this fight has devolved into a 4v4. Let me drop a quick personal window for myself and get multiple people. And then we can also get into the should your window be threatening multiple lanes? Like, do you want to drop a window like this where your window is letting you shoot down here and down here type thing? Because this window is pretty one-dimensional. Like, it's just kind of in the open, as opposed to a window that gives you multiple lanes like you might get here. I could drop a window like this and be like, I can shoot through the window onto point. I can also shoot through the window into the choke there type thing. So yes, our Reinhardt review is going to cover BAP windows. All good.
Yeah. Well, I'm in like a scrim too, like
a
scrim team.
I
And
know.
plat teams love to start with window. It just happens all the time. I don't know why.
It's
like
not
after you explaining it that way.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay. Great. You're on the right side of the window, and you win. Top point. Oh, that's unfortunate. Have you won this team fight?
No, not yet. I
No,
believe I have.
but
Oh,
yes.
yes.
So
yes, I have, because their healers are both down. I think we have the advantage.
Both of their supports are gone, and you guys have a huge respawn advantage, right?
Yeah.
And while they still have
yeah.
their window going, you've sort of denied their window any value, and you have a nano going. So you've won, really. Like, it might not feel like it, but you've actually won this fight. You also have better positioning. You have people up here, you have a McCree up here, you're over here, whereas they're sort of all clustered in roughly one part of the map. You get where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
So do they deserve a tick?
No. Keep them off it. They can't stay on there.
Right, and you can just step onto point. There's two of them on point. You can just step onto point. You've got full health and an nano. Your supports are above and can get you. Step onto point. I see the D.Va. I see the Sim, but there's a Reinhardt on point that you could swing at too. There's a McCree on point that you can swing at. There's plenty you can do here, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah, that should have been the call for sure.
All good. Oh no. Oh no.
Yep. My team was screaming the same thing when I did that.
It would have been fine. You guys had won the fight, but might have been a tiny bit of a
I was aiming for the
disadvantage.
post.
And then a Lucio appears out of nowhere and knocks you off the edge.
I know. Oh yeah, that's true. That's fair.
Okay, are we gonna fire strike? So that's late. So you can hear that they're here. You can hear that they're there for the fire strike, and I don't actually mind the fire strike here, though it's not amazing. What I do mind, you should be starting your fire strike now if you're going to throw this fire strike, because you've already heard them there. They're making sim noises, Reinhardt's loud, you know that they're there. Instead, you're just now hitting the button, so you're aiming after you can see them. Exactly. And it's not like it would have been hard. Like, your aiming options are going to be very limited when you're through here. So it's not like you need extra time to aim. Right.
Yeah, true.
Okay,
yeah, I didn't realize my Ana died.
All good. That's just unfortunate. That's not really on you. That's a positioning thing with her. So you sort of look at this and you just have to realize, oh shoot, they've sort of earned this space. If your Ana's gone, we can't really enforce this any better. So you might go, hey, I'm going to shield. You're definitely not going here to shield this, because now you're putting yourself in too much danger. You're putting yourself vulnerable to damage from this direction and the self-destruct.
Right.
You probably have to shield for the self-destruct, but don't put yourself into the doorway to shield for the self-destruct. You can just go like that, like you ultimately did, but you also want to be working yourself out over here, because it's very likely that you're going to try to drop if you understand how the flow of this fight is going. They, unfortunately, earned their way in here, and you don't get to tax them anymore. Hard shield. Hard shield. Yeah. You're going to come out, you're going to shatter, turn everything, it's going to be great. That's not right.
Totally great.
That's, well, something. Oh, and the point.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so we've got some C9ing issues, And we've got, I mean, really, we have Fire Strike issues, and we can see that. We've got some C9ing issues where we're just not quite enough attention. And as a tank, you're one of the most, it's highest point of mind for you compared to a lot of your other teammates. And then we just didn't recognize when the pressure, when they had earned this, when we couldn't reasonably hold this anymore. But okay, that's, you know, two of those made a big difference, and one of those is clearly, even though it hasn't necessarily made a huge difference yet, this match is something that is going to be very consistent in your gameplay, that is probably actually going to cause you more upgrade than some of this other stuff. But let's keep watching and see what we get. Because you took us to draw Namora, which means, you know, we've got 6 more rounds.
Exactly. You didn't know this is a 45-minute VOD, actually.
I know. I see the number there, but it's been edited. It's been edited.
Exactly.
Ready for battle.
I was a butterfly.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Forward, my friends! Go!
Why do I need to wide swing this?
Yeah, I'm not sure why I'm doing that.
Okay.
Now that I'm looking back over there.
Good talk. Good talk.
Yeah. And
this sucks.
First attempt goes very, goes very rough.
This sucks, but you just saw that your Zarya bubble got used.
Yep.
So you're not going to round this corner. You're going to go, I guess I'm waiting 8 seconds, right?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. This does not look like waiting 8 seconds. Okay. Nope.
Yeah, I think this fight was when I realized I need to really be on my Zarya to get to coordinate my bubbles, because
and in organized play, you guys can decide how you want to set it up. Is this going to be a she calls when Bubble's ready, or she calls every once in a while, like Bubble's 4 seconds out, or maybe the next time she calls Bubble's 2 seconds out, and then you mentally start your tracking from there? And what you actually want to do with her, you can do she tells you when Bubble's ready, or she tells you when Bubble's going to be ready, and then when you know it's ready, you call for the bubble when you want it. That's one option. But the other thing is, and that's totally an option, but the other thing that'll serve you better on ladder is you try to get calls out of her of when Bubble's up or when Bubble's going to be up, and you use those calls. But even if you don't get those calls, you mentally track her Bubble cooldown, and you intentionally put yourself in a situation that she would like to bubble you right as her Bubble cooldown is coming up, or just after her Bubble cooldown has come up, because you don't want to wait 14 seconds before you give her a situation to bubble you, because that bubble in those seconds between when it became available and when you almost demand it is too likely to get sucked up by your Reaper, by your Zen getting dove, something like that. And they're actually not going to get as good value out of it usually as you are, but she's still going to use it because she wants energy, and you're not giving her an opportunity for energy. So sort of try to track her cooldown, at least in regular play and organized play. You guys can have a call structure, and then put yourself in a situation. Don't go in there with 200 health, but try to put yourself in a situation just after it comes available, or just as it's becoming available, that she's going to want to bubble you. So you go in for your one swing, and then you'd be fine going for that swing because you had full health. And then if you get the bubble that you expect to get, you get 2 more swings. Like, that's sort of how you want to think about these bubbles. And if you don't have the bubble, well, I just don't want to round this corner. Because if you were rounding the corner into them and they also didn't have Zarya bubble, that would be one thing. But they're not running Zarya. They're running D.Va. So, they're going to do more to you. You didn't get bubble value. You just can't push. Unless something else goes wildly in your favor. Like, hey, we have Valk going, we have Beat going, we have a pick. They don't have their ice wall. Something like that is sort of forcing your hand, which is not going on right now. Unfortunate. Now you're not going to get the bubble again. Okay.
Yeah. I'm hoping they're aiming for me.
No.
I know. This is me, not being okay with doing nothing. I
guess. But you gotta.
The first point. I know. I gotta wait.
Hurry up and wait, man. Hurry up and wait.
Yeah, I need to be more vocal about that too. All right, well, we're just waiting 8 seconds until the person gets their bubble back.
Yep. It could be pushing on bubble, like pushing on bubble, that
Right.
sort of thing. How long on bubble, etc. And again, we don't want to peek this corner to Fire Strike because we could get stunned when we do that. We could get, in this case, a mine thrown in our face. We could get a shotgun in our face from the Torb. We could get the other Ryan to pin us, and then his team gets super aggressive. We could get shattered. Not yet, but that's conceptually the thing. And even if they didn't have a diva, we wouldn't want to do it for all those reasons. But they have a diva, so it's like, oh, you're going to Fire Strike. Okay, well, you've exposed yourself to get your fire. So you've exposed yourselves, and you'll take 400 damage, and we're just going to DM your Fire Strike. I don't particularly like that deal. Okay, so that was a little better. Okay. Oh, you guys are gonna have a fight about bubbles when you next meet.
I know.
I mean, it's a trans. It's not wild to be going, let's push during it, but yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Little rough, little rough. Okay, so you're not going to have a trans anymore. You are going to have a grav. You're probably not going to have a high energy Zarya because you guys, nope, you're not going to have a high energy Zarya. So one thing that we can do to make this push better is we can synchronize our timing to the bubble. It might be first thing is just I go out and trade with my bubble, and second time I get the bubble, I call that we're hard pushing with it. That would be one way we could think about this, and that's a somewhat reliable way to do a good job of forcing this push. Does that mean that you're going to win 70% of the time? No. Is it better than almost anything else you can do? Yes. The other thing that you can do, though, is you can go, hey, first time I get energy, second time is the real push, and we're going to keep going type thing, is you can, for that second one especially, go, hey, make sure that your Hanzo is coordinated, and as you push, your Hanzo pops up here. So, like, as you push with that bubble the second time, this is when your Hanzo pops up here and does his work from over here, and that's what we'd be looking for. Now, you have ult, so you can do this differently with Grab Dragon, and that's probably what you're going to do, but that would be a repeatable way that you can try to break this choke, because I know this choke can be frustrating.
Yeah. Especially when they're running Junk and Torbjorn.
Oh, sure.
So this... I know they don't have a Rhine, so we're trying to regroup, get pushed in hard, try to like beat him to the choke, and it works. But then I just get melted.
Sure. That is a thing that can happen. So let's take a look. So here we are. You push into the choke and you get melted. So here we are. Is your team caught up with you? Yeah, your team's basically caught up with you. Okay, so we're gonna push up with our shield up. Good, and we're gonna find an enemy to walk towards. There's a Junkrat, and we want to swing at the Junkrat. No problem. Okay. We're still in okay health. We could have swung at that Junkrat. We could swing at this Lucio. Didn't really find anything to swing at there. Definitely had a target available to swing at us on the right for a second there. So we haven't really put any pressure on them. And if we're not putting pressure on them, that sort of makes their job easier. This is something that supports frequently have to get comfortable with, which is doing damage to the other team relieves healing pressure on your team. Well, you have to understand the same thing with Reinhardt, and it's sort of what we were talking about with those Zarya bubbles, where it's like, if you just stand here in our Zarya bubble, and the enemy team blows you up and you survive, you gave your Zarya 40 energy. Cool. Not good enough. You also, in most situations, want to go, I got my Zarya 40 energy, and I got 2 swings worth of damage. Because if I got those 2 swings worth of damage, their team is sort of having to recover from that. They're on their heels a little bit from that. Or maybe we were both bubbled and we swung at each other and we both got it. But that sort of matters. They have to recover from that. Well, you didn't do any damage, and you had at least 2 good swing opportunities when you had reasonable health. You still had armor left on both of those, and you didn't get them. So now you're up here, and now you don't have armor left, and you're here. And I'd still swing at this Lucio, truth be told, because you're protected enough on this side from the damage. But you see how you really didn't get much done on the way here? You didn't relieve pressure? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I should have been swinging. Especially on that Junk at the beginning, then this Lucio, and then Yeah,
that we could have swung at rather
I
than fire
wasn't doing a whole
striking
lot.
because it would have been more
Yeah.
reliable. Okay.
Exactly. A lot of things. And then this is the worst of it all. It's just turning away from everybody. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh,
So your BAP is like, I can do it. I can do it. This is what I've been training
I
for.
got
I'm
it.
going to
Thread
send
the
the right
needle.
clicks through the window.
I know. Oh man, that would have been great.
Sadly, I don't think his frisbee fits through the window.
I know.
Go.
Let me get you patched up.
Okay. So this is unfortunately too much. Here we are. We'll back this up just a little bit to show you what you did. Okay. Here you are. You have the resources to swing. In theory, there's a Zarya bubble available. Your team's relatively here to take advantage of the space you create. You use it. One. Well, that's all you got. You're done. Your bubble's gone. That's all you got. There's not a ton of point in spending more health for damage right now because you got your Zarya, your energy, and if you go out here, it's just going to be a lot of pressure to heal you back up.
Mm-hmm.
And why sort of bother type thing. Like I look at them and I'm like, they've got a Junkrat, a Torb. I don't wanna. I got my Zarya the energy. We're done. We're just done. Unless it's like, hey, I'm doing this specifically to create a distraction for my, I don't know, soldier to fly his way over here and, do this or whatever. Like, unless I have some specific thing that I'm doing, I don't want to. I'll just wait till my next bubble and we'll actually push on my next bubble type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, those fire strikes.
Yeah.
And now Zarya's getting energy for themselves, no problem. And we're probably almost ready to push now. Yeah, we are, except that because you're in this situation, now you're here. Zarya's going to bubble you when you go in next here. But, you're not ready to go in with full or near full health, and your team isn't caught up on soldier's health either. Right.
Yeah.
So, you're going to get this bubble, and you're not going to push off of this bubble. You're going to have to use this bubble as an energy bubble for Zarya, because your situation isn't good enough. You didn't put yourself in a situation where you had full HP, full barrier, when your bubble was ready to actually push. So now you have to wait another bubble cycle to push, and I sure hope none of your teammates find a stupid way to get eliminated before that next bubble. You see where I'm going with this? Okay.
Yeah.
So as Reinhardt, go ahead.
Oh, it's get picked because it's going to cost them downtime.
Right.
Waiting for me to be able to actually push. Yeah.
Exactly. So as Reinhardt, it's sort of your responsibility to make sure you get the most number of pushes possible as a team. And this is how you do that. You every reasonable opportunity to push, you push with, is sort of how you're going to do that. But you don't throw away those opportunities. You make sure that those opportunities exist, at least with your play. Are teammates still going to get eliminated sometimes and you can't push? Absolutely. Okay, now we're good. This should be a real push.
Heroes never die.
It should not involve a fire strike.
That would be a fire strike. Yeah.
That would be a fire strike.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why. I think it's the Junkrat just in my mind that whole time because that's who I was trying to get to. And then I get booped. It was.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other thing to remember is, in some ways, this might be your best. Well, this actually was the perfect shatter opportunity. He's fire striking in your bubble. You should have shattered this. I know it's a frame, but you should have shattered this because you're always thinking a little bit about well, I kind of want to hit my shatter while I'm bubbled because I won't get CC'd, I won't get knocked around as much. It's kind of a thing I want. I also have to factor in the other Rhine shield, so that's a thing to consider. But he fire struck me. Q.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, that would have been huge too.
Yeah. But I gotta be honest, it's harder because the only tool that you have for pushing right now, not the only tool, but like your push tools, you don't have DPS that are helping your push right now. And what I mean by that is you guys swapped off of the Hanzo, you don't have any sort of flanker, so unless your Reaper's teleporting past before the push, you don't have anything that's helping relieve this pressure. So as a team, I would like to either get the Hanzo back, get an Echo, get a Widow, send a Tracer through, teleport my Reaper through, whatever it's going to take. Maybe we even have to get complicated about this and have our Reaper teleport and give our Reaper on the bubble on the other side of the teleport so that he doesn't get eliminated, so that he can then somehow, or maybe more likely have him teleport up to here and then drop, etc., and go like this. But like something that is going to help be able to peel a little bit pressure away from this choke. I'm telling you how to optimize what you're doing, and it will absolutely help, but we're not going to get this to or above 50% without something helping in another way.
Yeah, all their attention's on that door.
Right.
Makes it so hard.
And you don't need to pull 3 people's attention away, but hey, even the support being like, is that over there? I'm a little worried, is helpful.
Yeah. I need to be better about that than just communicating. Like, guys, please get someone to not be looking at the door.
Yep.
Or something while I'm pushing through.
That was a better fire strike, by the way. Best fire strike so far.
Yeah, thank you. See, I'm getting better in the middle of the VOD.
Unfortunate. No. If she gives you a bad bubble, it's a bad bubble. There's no way. There's no way you're gonna get up and use this bubble. No.
Not even there anymore.
No. Yeah, exactly. Shield. Good. No.
I know, it was 7 seconds.
No, it's not that.
That's why
It's not that. You still have to walk through this barrier. What happens as soon as you walk through this window?
Everybody behind me dies.
No. It's your window.
Really? Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I could. Yeah.
You walk through this window when you get double heals.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you're threatened by more people on their team. Yes, the Reinhardt is just going to swing at you mercilessly because he's in a lamp. Yes, you're going to get shot at by BAP. But as soon as you're through this window, you get double heals. And as soon as you get healed at all, double heals from your BAP anyway. As soon as you get healed at all,
kill me.
Right?
Yeah.
And we also do not want these guys. They're not going to because of how their lamp works. But we do not, which if this lamp wasn't here, want these guys to advance through our window and take it away from us. So you got to go through windows that are right in front of you like this. You can sometimes fire strike before you go through. In this situation, I just walked through it, and I definitely wouldn't fire strike.
Yeah.
Instead, we're backing away. And now you go for the pin, which, hey, sort of that's a thing, but like I actually just wanted to swing into the massive people that were here while I was getting double heals. Even with the lamp, I'll take care of the lamp with my swings. I can lamp plus someone else with my swings. Bye-bye, cruel world. My healers can't see me. My Mercy's never going to chase me this deep.
Thankfully she did. She probably shouldn't have.
Fire strike into the DM.
Yeah.
Shield. Okay. Got any of those healing stations, soldier? Got any of them?
I know. Please. Somehow, I don't like.
Okay.
After dying the entire game, I'm not sure how. I didn't die this time. I got very lucky.
Little bit. You were a little more conscious of what are you doing? Okay. It might be cool if your team would shoot these people through your barrier. That could be a cool thing, but I don't really care. What I want to do if I'm you is I want to tuck myself over here or over here. These guys aren't on the point, right?
Mm-hmm.
And by putting your shield up, you stop them from contributing to the point in some ways. But if you stand over here, they're going to have a tough time shooting you. Yeah, technically they can shoot through the windows, etc. But they're going to have a tough time shooting you. And your team isn't vulnerable. Like, yeah, maybe they can shoot at Soldier, but your team has a bell that they can hide behind. They have this cover that they can hide behind. You don't need to just be like a wall for your team in this situation. You're sort of giving them something to shoot at. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does.
Whereas these guys are going to be just as afraid to come on point if you're standing here as they are if you're here. They might get a little bit of damage on your soldier. Maybe they'll eliminate your soldier, and that would suck.
Yeah.
But, like, they're just as afraid to come on, and you can even try and crouch. If you're here or here, as they are if you're here, but you're not giving away shield if you're here. And you might want to
Yeah.
recover some shield, because then you can threaten going out and fighting them if you recover some shield.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense, actually. Yeah.
And now you can push out and get them. But we're not going to. That's going to be Ball's job. Fine.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay.
New defense point. Objective B.
There was a part of me that was ready for the epic montage that was pinning D.Va across the gap.
Oh, that'd been amazing. I'm not that good. Not yet.
Team's ready. Ooh,
Here-
Ball's early.
Yeah, they. Yeah.
Oh boy. Sure. Over.
Yep.
Just swing. Yep. Okay, so we wanted to sort of continue our high ground, but our ball went in early, so no big deal. Our ball sort of went in early. We could have went in earlier. Our team was just sort of chilling, if you get what I'm saying. But
Yeah. They didn't all commit high ground. That's why I went to main. Was we weren't really grouping up there.
yeah,
to
but
high
that
ground,
doesn't.
make that
As long
push.
as you have like your BAP with you, I don't really care.
Time to raise my APM. Time to raise my APM.
Okay. I guess I can micro this. I mean, this isn't wild what's going on here. We're just...
No. Yeah.
You're thinking, hey, I'm going to push into this. There's a trap. You're going to have a not good time. You don't have any sort of off tank
I
to
can't
soak
even get
damage
out,
off of
yeah.
you. Exactly. In theory, you could have dropped your barrier a little early, and the reason you'd have dropped your barrier a little early is to intentionally preserve barrier health, because your supports can't heal your barrier, but they can heal your health.
That's a good point.
So you could have gone,
didn't even
hey,
think about that.
I'm going to flash my barrier to survive a little longer because I'm going to be stuck here for way too long. So I'm going to let them knock me down to 300, 250 health and then put my barrier back up because I can get healed that 250 health. I can't get healed the barrier. I think you reached for the fire strike button. I think you did.
Yeah, I was hoping you wouldn't notice that. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's a habit. Like
It
I
is.
just press it when
It
I'm
is.
about to die. It's
You-
so bad.
We are going to have to break this. A lot of Reinhardts have that with charge, which is a little more defendable, but not amazing. You seem to have it with fire strike.
Yeah.
Don't worry, my friends. I am your shield.
Sure.
60 seconds remaining.
There's our fire strike. Okay. No way. No way. Oh, he caught up more than I expected he did. Okay, and then do you have...
We have Ash on the.
Okay, okay. I like it. I like it. You're a little better than I thought. I'd actually like this push to be tighter, though. Like, I really... You, like, need your Moira coming in, like, with you. Your Mercy coming in if this is what you're doing
Yeah.
with you. I wouldn't actually even have your Mercy with you. I'd be like, oh, hey, Mercy, you're going over here with Ash, and we're going to do it like
That's a
this.
good idea.
But
Yeah.
block it? Okay.
Didn't even see him coming. It was.
I just
Yeah.
knew where it was coming from because I know the play, but that's fine.
I know. I'll probably never forget that play. Like, I'll see it all the time now, just because it was so.
All good.
It just
It-
wrecked us.
Sometimes that's what happens. You experience it, and it's like, oh, that's rough.
Yeah.
30 seconds remaining.
Not give up.
This is one of those games where it was like, it just seemed like it was just such a slaughter, and like I was dying so much. Where I watched this game like 3 times over.
Oh, sure.
Where yeah, I'm like, it's basically reassessed my life as a Reinhardt main.
You can walk across. Where are they? Where are they? Where are they?
Yeah.
Like, you have to sort of be like...
That was the play. I needed to know where they were. I was so
Right.
focused on that tour.
Right. It's like, this is... So you are completely surrounded. I need to know, do you need to defend in this direction? In this direction? Oh, look, there's a BAP up there. Who knew? Like, you just gotta have more knowledge of where they are, because you can't counterpin Orion if you don't know where he is. You can't figure out how am I going to get a shatter to win this fight if you don't know where there's 2 or 3 people to shatter. Okay. So there's that. Hard shield, hard shield. So we needed to hard shield, and the reason we need to hard shield is we have a Vault going, and there's a chance that our Mercy is going to get us back up here, to get us back into this fight if we can just, like, hard shield. I don't need this Diva elimination on one swing isn't going to do it. Just stay alive. Maybe your Mercy can stabilize you enough between you and your shield to let you get a Valk. And this fight is messy enough that, you know, you might find a big shatter, because the Ryan's going to think less hard about blocking the shatter as the fight gets this late and this messy. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so cool. We get one more chance. Like that. Wrong target. 100% the wrong target. Okay, so I can get the Junkrat with 2 swings, right? And I can get 2 swings done, or I can get a swing and a shatter done. This is complicated. This I have to be like Fire Strike into pin, and I hope the Junkrat doesn't hit a mine on me as he's getting up to knock me away from my pin on the Reinhardt, and I'm for sure eliminated after I pin the Reinhardt by the Junkrat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Junkrat, like, that's right beside me. That's where I needed to
absolutely
be killing.
Because remember, with Shatter is not about, if you're following up on your own Shatter, it's not about getting the maximum damage out of your Shatter. It's about getting at least 1 elimination. Like, that's what you want to think about with your Shatter.
That makes sense.
Like, oh, I stunned multiple people, and that's helpful because the Reinhardt being stunned is going to allow me to eliminate the Junkrat. Great. Totally fine. It's not about, oh, how much max damage can I do cleaving everyone. It's I need at least 1. Max damage is a bonus, but hey.
Yeah. I didn't kill anybody.
No problem.
With it, so yeah.
You weren't going to turn this fight, but it was a nice dream. Like, it looks like you have teammates alive, but they're on the way back. It's ball, like, going, I'm trying type thing. Yeah. Okay. So if we look at, like, key moments that lost us the game, or key concepts that lost us the game, it's going to be something that's actually going to be a focus for you, which is we need to be a little bit more aware of point pressure and how that works. And like, wait, I don't need to give up this tick. Wait, why am I not on the point? Like, you have a greater priority to the point, and your team is expecting you to touch the point as a tank and as a Reinhardt more than the other roles are going to be considered. Like, if you've seen me coach Annas, I'm not telling Annas to jump on point to contest point. Like Lucio's maybe, but I'm not telling Annas or Zens. If you've seen me coach McCrees and Soldiers and Widows, I'm not telling them to go to point to contest point. That's on you type thing. Like, you have the bulk to actually do that type thing. Now, that doesn't mean that you're 100% glued to the point and can't leave. You actually form a tandem with your tank partner, and sometimes you'll even tag out with a Lucio or something to the point, but like, or a Tracer. But like, you have to have heightened awareness of the point compared to your teammates, because you can actually be like, oh, well, if you're on a point and you have a 1600 HP shield and you have an Ana or a BAP up here, that's a pretty long amount of stall on the point. If we have an Ana on the point and we have a U up here, well, that point is not, I mean, yeah. So
opposite problem. Yeah.
First thing, because it both affected this match and it's something you need to work on. It's not the most important thing you need to work on, but it's something you need to work on, is we do need a little more point awareness for you in terms of, wait, the point is ticking. Are they about to get a tick that they shouldn't? Sometimes you let them get a tick, by the way. Like when you were defending against the sim push, for example, if you needed to let them get 2 ticks before you went on and fought, you needed to let them get 90% before they went on and fought because your Junkrat was softening them up, that would be perfectly fine. But if they haven't earned it, they haven't earned it, and they shouldn't get it, and we should touch point.
Yeah.
Okay. So sort of
that
our
makes sense.
Point awareness type thing, we need to hire that in our mind, but that's not the first thing. That said, it's absolutely why they had a huge time bank, because they capped this way faster than they should have. The second thing that was sort of a big determining factor in this match and why this went the way it did is how do I want to say this? This is a team thing. This is not a you thing. You can work with your team on this because this is relevant to this match, which is I need something to relieve pressure. I can go do this as Reinhardt. It's my job to maximize the number of push attempts that we get, the maximum number of decent push attempts we get with our tank line. But if I can get someone else to factor into that, a Hanzo, a Pharah, an Echo, a Widow, a Tracer, a Reaper, whatever, that would be fantastic. And I'm going to try to sync times with them while they're relieving some pressure. So that would be a thing. That is not actually something I'm asking you to work on. I'm just commenting on this because this was a 6-stack. This was a scrim type game, even if it wasn't actually a scrim. So you and your team should be aware of this. What I'm actually going to have you work on are 3 things. The first of which is actually going to be your fire strikes. That's what I'm going to have you work on. I do not want you to fire strike on a corner when the opponents hold the other side of that corner. Fire striking on corners is great, but I want you to do it when you're at different corners or when you're on a corner and they're not. So no fire striking here. No fire striking here when they're holding with their Reinhardt the other side of the corner. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Do you understand why?
For not to fire strike when pushing in?
No, even if you were defending here, if the other Reinhardt is right here, I do not want you going, aha, fire strike, like this. I might have you fire strike here if the other team is walking from here to here, but if the other Reinhardt controls this, I wouldn't. Yes, I want a distance. Any ideas why? Good.
Because the hammer is a lot more accurate than the fire strike, for one. And especially up close. And he has cleave damage with the
fires. They both have a cleave of sorts. One's a cleave, one's a pierce.
Yeah. Those are the ones I'm thinking of right now.
Sure. So it actually has more to do with your ability to change your mind when the situation gets too hot. If I'm wrapping around this corner to swing, and I take 200 damage, I can go, whoa, too hot, and put up my shield. If I take 200 damage, well, I'm locked into this fire strike. I hope I don't take another 200 damage.
Cancel it.
Like, you can sort of try to back into it type thing, but that's not amazing. The other thing that you run into is if I'm fire striking from here into the Reinhardt that's at there, which I know is you, but like, we're going to pretend right now.
Right.
From here, I can change my mind on this. That's fine. I can change my mind in theory on the close one, but like I'm likely to take less damage fire striking an approaching team like that, or fire striking when I know they're going to want to send damage at my approaching team. Like I'm not going to get blown up as hard as I am by this. But also, there's CC potential follow-up. If I fire strike around this corner, I'm going to get flashed. I'm going to get hooked. I'm going to get thrown around by Junkrat mines. I'm also going to have a lot of damage focused on this because they know I'm coming. When I'm further away, there's still a little bit more in terms of what angles are we taking, what approaches are we taking. I'm also not going to get pinned. I'm not going to get shattered at this stuff. There's time for me to react to sleep darts at this distance. Fire striking with some distance, no problem. Fire striking right into the other Reinhardt or right into the other Roadhog, Diva, whatever, you're going to get punished. You with me so far?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's the first thing I want you to work on. And it's going to be, I don't want to fire strike when I'm sharing a corner with the opposing team because I'll just get blasted too hard. But I also don't want to like fire strike as a finishing, let me rephrase that. Fire strike as a finishing move can be fine, but I don't want to fire strike to finish my own life. I don't want to fire strike as like, I'm this. And I just don't want to fire strike like, you do this where I'm pushing in and I push in and fire strike type thing. Like fire strike is really for corner sniping, like we sort of talked about. So that would be your poke version of fire strike, or for finishing people off, and occasionally for throwing through BAP windows. But it's not like a generic, you can hit it on shattered people too, but it's not a generic thing. You really have to be pretty comfortable that the incoming damage is low when you fire strike. And it's not going to be when you're pushing in like this, right?
Yeah.
And if you're low health, incoming damage also probably isn't low because you wouldn't be low health if it was, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. So specifically work on, hey, we're going to try to not fire strike in the open. We're going to try to also not fire strike on corners that the opponents control.
Pre-move it, yeah.
You got it.
But also, don't be fire striking when the Ryan's on the other side, or the team's on the other side. The enemy team is on the other side of the corner.
You got it.
Okay.
The second thing is our, hey, let's have more awareness of the objective. You can give up tick sometimes. That's going to happen. That's going to be a decision you make, but it shouldn't happen accidentally. It should be a conscious decision, and it should also be, it is on you to actually make sure that they don't cap. If you're alive and they cap, something went wrong. If you're alive and they cap, something definitely went wrong. So you got to be more aware of that. And then the third thing that we're going to get into is I'm skipping desyncing with your team for, relieving pressure. I'm not skipping syncing with your Zarya, because ladder or team, you gotta be getting your timings right for these pushes. You can do one push for energy, the second push for real. You could do the first push for real. You could do two pushes for energy if your Zarya doesn't get good energy for some reason, or if your Zarya gets reset or something. But you gotta be tracking your Zarya's cooldown. And if your Zarya misuses the bubble, well, I guess I'm just going to sit here and tap my foot because I'm not pushing into that. Like, that's something, tracking her bubble and understanding how the pushes revolve around her bubble when Zarya's your teammate is critical as Reinhardt. Does that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Like, I've played as Zarya a lot with Ryan, and I'm decent at that. But the Ryan Zarya, playing Ryan as Zarya,
sure,
completely different, like, game or different feel.
Absolutely. Absolutely feels different. With Zarya, it's just like, I just got to get energy, etc. But as you get better at both of them, you'll see the matchup between them a little differently too. So hopefully getting better at the Ryan will help the Zarya Ryan.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Hopefully. Okay. Yeah, gotcha.
Okay.
That actually helps a lot. Those are like two things I didn't really well, the bubble definitely, but the fire striking, that's one I didn't really think of.
Sure.
I wasn't noticing.
Oh, yeah, that's hurting you a lot. Like, you were getting blown up during some of this stuff. So that's something that we can work on, and that's something that is very likely happening in, like, all of your games. So even though the objective pressure, you're probably not getting C9'd or whatever in every game, you're probably not getting locked out at chokes quite this hard every game. The fire strike thing is happening to you probably every game.
That makes it, and, like, mitigating the damage will make me.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I need to get better at that. So I'm not as, getting worried about getting blown up when it's obviously because I'm one of the big reasons because I'm fire striking, right at the team in their face.
You got it. Yeah. And the support that's going to try to keep you alive through that is not going to your Hanzo on an off angle. It's not going to your Reaper in their back line. All those things. Okay.
Gotcha.
So I think we've given you some pretty big topics there. I think we've also explained why your team lost this match effectively, or this game effectively. So I think we've done probably the things you wanted out of this, but do you have any final questions, any comments, anything you'd like to go over more generally?
I don't think so. I think I've got two things to work on specifically for that, and really that's what I'm looking for. So it's gave me exactly what I needed. Yeah, so appreciate it so much.
Perfect. Then let's go ahead and call this one